Hey, Matt here with M3. This is from Neville Goddard, Out of This World in the Search. And everybody's always asking about, am I getting my attractive state? What's right? Like, how do I do it? It's hard to do. And Neville talks about this stuff a lot, that we overcomplicate the process. And he says throughout many of his books, and that's what this book actually is. This is all, it's 10 of Neville's books all put together. So if you read this book, you find that he says it over and over again. My interpretation of it is just keep it simple. If it gets too complicated, what happens is we start going down an imaginary space where, we find out that it's difficult or it's hard, and that's just, in terms of what I teach, that's our paradigm, saying that this is not possible. So I just want to share something with you that I was reading. Neville gives me a lot of comfort in how simply he puts it and how matter of fact, and just all of the belief he puts in what he does. So this is part of it here. It says, the undisciplined mind finds it difficult to assume a state which is denied by the senses. Here's a technique that makes it easy to encounter events before they occur, to call things which are not seen as though they were. And that's from Romans chapter 14, verse 17. People have a habit of slighting the importance of simple things, but this formula for changing the future was discovered after years of searching and experimenting. The first step in changing the future is desire. That is, define your objective. Know definitely what you want. Secondly, construct an event which you believe you would encounter following the fulfillment of your desire. An event which implies fulfillment of your desire. Something that will have the action of self-predominant. It means it's you. Thirdly, immobilize the physical body and induce a condition akin to sleep. Lie on a bed or relax in a chair and imagine that you are sleepy. Then, with eyelids closed and your attention focused on the action you intend to experience, in imagination, mentally feel yourself right into the proposed action, imagining all the while that you are actually performing the action here and now. You must always participate in the imaginary action, not merely stand back and look on, but you must feel that you are actually performing the action, so that the imaginary sensation is real to you. It is important to always remember that the proposed action must be one which follows the fulfillment of your desire. And also, you must feel yourself into the action until it has all the vividness and distinctness of reality. For example, suppose you desired promotion in office. Being congratulated would be an event you would encounter following the fulfillment of your desire. There it is. Having selected this action as the one you will experience in imagination, immobilize the physical body and induce a state akin to sleep, a drowsy state, but one in which you are still able to control the direction of your thoughts, a state in which you are attentive without effort. Now imagine that a friend is standing before you. Put your imaginary hand into his. Feel it to be solid and real. Then carry on an imaginary conversation with him in harmony with the action. Do not visualize yourself at a distance in point of space and at a distance in point of time being congratulated on your good fortune. Instead, make elsewhere here and the future now. The future event is a reality now in a dimensionally larger world, and oddly enough, now in a dimensionally larger world is equivalent to here in the ordinary three-dimensional space of everyday life. The difference between feeling the difference between feeling yourself in action here and now and visualizing yourself in action as though you were on a motion picture screen is the difference between success and failure. So what he's saying there is that you really want to be feeling it and seeing it through your eyes. You don't want to be standing outside of yourself, seeing yourself do this thing. You want to actually be feeling it as you in your body now, just as you are right now. The difference will be appreciated, and you will now visualize yourself climbing. Let me read that again. The difference will be appreciated if you will now visualize yourself climbing a ladder. Then, with eyelids closed, imagine that a ladder is right in front of you and feel you're actually climbing it. Desire physical immobility bordering on sleep and imaginary action in which self-feelingly predominates here and now are not only important factors in altering the future, but they are essential conditions in consciously projecting the spiritual self. If, when the physical body is mobilized, we become possessed of the idea to do something and imagine that we are doing it here and now, and keep the imaginary action feelingly going right up until sleep ensues, we are likely to awaken out of the physical body to find ourselves in a dimensionally larger world with a dimensionally larger focus, and actually doing what we desired and imagined we are doing. Gosh darn it, it's hard to read this thing a little bit as I follow it in my computer. Let me do that last sentence again. We're likely to awaken out of the physical body to find ourselves in a dimensionally larger world with a dimensionally larger focus, and actually doing what we desired and imagined we are doing in the flesh. There you go. So we're just talking about the dream state, that if you slip off to sleep this way, there's a good chance that you're going to have dreams about this in the dimensionally larger world and experience it there. And that's very powerful. He talks about that too in the book a lot, how important that is before we go to bed. But whether we awaken there or not, we are actually performing the action in the fourth dimension world, and we will reenact it in the future here in the third dimensional world. So this is the simplest way to put it. Quick summary of that is just immobilize your physical body, induce a sleep or a state that's like sleep, but you're not asleep. So a lot of people do this sitting more upright, but they're just relaxed in a relaxed state. And then just imagine yourself sleepy. And then take the act that you've created that you know can only happen after that you're successful in achieving this goal, after you've already done it. And somebody had told me the 3 H's, like a handshake, a high five, or a hug. Those are really cool things, maybe followed by a statement. You know, the person saying, "We've done it," or I can't believe you did it. Or whatever the case is, that they're stunned. You know, congratulations is a big one too. And just continue to play that small little scene over and over again. And you're going to find that it feels more real the more you do that. The more you kind of pull your senses into that imaginary act. You're seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching that act. But it's all an imagination, is what causes the things to happen in our world in that form of what we refer to as law of attraction. Neville calls it the law of assumption. But a lot of times people will refer to the law of attraction, and they'll say, how does it work? What's the best way to do it? This is the best way that I've seen and from Neville and how he puts it. He says to do this over and over again all throughout this big book. Matt here for M3. I hope this serves you, and I hope you're able to use this to go out there and get exactly what it is that you want.